Good morning from the southern tip of Virginia. Today we're entering, that's right, Tennessee. Headed in a westernly direction, which, if you know the layout of Tennessee, means first up is Knoxville. There's the famous Sun Sphere. This was built for the 1982 World's Fair here. It's a classic episode of Simpsons where Bart fakes his way into getting a driver's license, and him and his friends rent a car, and they're trying to decide where to go, and they all unanimously and excitedly land on Knoxville, Tennessee. Oh, you can swim in that. Thought this was like a fountain at first, but yeah, I guess it's a giant pool. It's not deep, it's like a big wading pool. I guess. Good news is you can rent the Sun Sphere for private events. Bad news is I can't go up there and hang out at the moment. I still took a few pictures and a quick video, but yeah, too bad. Graduation party going on, no tourists. Oh well. Anyway, there's one more site to see. Peyton Manning's alma mater, the old Volunteers, Tennessee. Might as well ride by. Let's do it. To the edge of campus. Now it is the first week of June, so I don't even think summer classes are a thing yet. So not too many folks here in old Neyland Stadium. This is where Peyton Manning had a prolific college career, set a bunch of records for this school. And they got a street named after him right out front. Pretty cool. Woo! Now we're flying all downhill back to the van. About all I got for Knoxville. Heading to the next spot. And we have made it to Nashville. Night is young. People are already out partying pretty good. They got all these little booze cruise carts going around. Might be the most Nashville, Tennessee thing I've ever seen in my life. It's a bunch of drinkers on a trailer being pulled by a tractor through the middle of downtown Nashville. Those are the sights you get here. It's kind of like redneck Vegas. Never seen anything quite like it. It's a Sunday evening. It's not even nightfall yet, and these people are absolutely going crazy. The word honky-tonk, I've never seen it used so much. Oh man, this is hilarious. Anyway, right over here we got Nissan Stadium across the way. It is where the Titans play, as you might have guessed. Not sure what that is. I've got some cool bridges off yonder. I think that far one is a pedestrian bridge, so probably gonna cross that here pretty soon. Alright, now we're up on that pedestrian bridge here. Offers up some pretty nice views. Downtown Nashville right there. Sun just setting on this cloudy evening. Look from the other side of the bridge. This is the Cumberland River we are crossing. Another muggy, humid one out here. But gotta say, for a Sunday evening, non-holiday, Nashville's going off. I'm impressed. There's a ton of drunk people out walking around. It's just like Vegas. It is redneck Vegas all day. Catch me a honky-tonk. Over in Printer's Alley. This is one of the older drinking avenues here in Nashville. And there are many streets to drink on. There's a lot of bars and restaurants and lights. Tennessee definitely loves their alcohol. In fact, you can drink in your car in this state. Vegas Strip of the South. And every bar has a live band playing. Every bar. Some have 2 or 3. Damn. Every single bar. Freaking nuts. It must suck to live in Nashville and then go to another city. Like, there are all the bands.
Something's wrong with the night, heavy thoughts tonight, and they honest know why. Dreams of war, dreams of lies, dreams of dragons, fire, things that will buy, yeah. Sleep with one eye open, gripping a pillow tight, until and tonight, take my hand, we're off to Never, Neverland.
Man, wasn't too sure what to expect. Showing up late on a Sunday night. You know, maybe they'll have a live band or 2 I can check out. Oh, no. Every bar. There's probably 100 bars with live music. It's amazing. God, on a COVID year, last year, it's been pretty hard to find live music anywhere, let alone just at a bar or something. Couldn't even go to a concert venue for something like that. But it's definitely back, at least in Nashville. Whew, live music for days. Let's get a couple blocks off Broadway. It does quiet down. Some more peaceful streets in Nashville as well. Man, fun town. I really gotta explore here in depth at some point. I had no idea what I was in for, but this is definitely a town I should have stopped for the night. I didn't realize, but still got a lot of towns calling my name, so we're on to Memphis. But goddamn Nashville. Now the town of Memphis does have a lot of the same charm as Nashville. Definitely a big live music town. They have a similar strip full of lights and bands and bars and all that, but also site of a pretty important event in history. Memphis is actually the city that Martin Luther King was assassinated in. There is a hotel just nearby here. It's the actual site where he lost his life. Today we're going to be checking out the Civil Rights Museum. It's a pretty cool one, actually. This is built out of the hotel that Martin Luther King got shot in. So this is pretty intense. In fact, just coming up on it now. The wreath you see marks the approximate location where he was shot. Happened the 4th of April, 1968. Highly recommend you pause here and read that. The Lorraine Motel, Memphis. Definitely a historic site. Pretty unassuming looking too. Not like a real nice Watergate or anything like that. It's a pretty basic motel. A lot of cool artwork scattered around the city. A lot of statues around town commemorating some of the blues greats. The alliterative Bobby Blue Bland. Orpheum Theater looks to still be in operation. Here's Beale Street. This is sort of their main drag. Got a few other stops first, but just down there is where a lot of the action happens. Got These sweet old trolleys going through town. I love that. Reminds me of New Orleans. Alrighty. Heading toward the next big thing. I mean that in the most literal sense ever. You're not gonna believe this thing. This has got to be one of the most epic things I've ever seen in any city. That's it? A Bass Pro Shop? Oh no. Look at this thing. It looks like the Luxor. So I looked into it, and this was built in 1991. It was built to be an entertainment and sports arena, actually. They were trying to lure a basketball team here, which they do now have, Memphis Grizzlies. But the venue was sadly struggling to turn a profit, and it closed in 2004. And eventually Bass Pro Shops signed a 55-year lease on the building and renovated the building and the entire area, and then reopened in 2015. And this place is huge. And it's so cool looking. It looks like an old swamp, like a little bayou or something. Very well done. They've got these bridges and swamps, all these old looking trees. And then right in the middle, big old elevator shaft. No shortage of fish swimming around in there. Pretty big ones too. Look at this guy. A few of those. It might be like a sturgeon of some kind. Man, that thing goes way up there. It's like 350 feet. So, freaking tall. I do believe this might be the most epic Bass Pro Shops ever. I've seen some crazy ones. The one in Vegas is real nuts. Or if you live in a state that has shields, those places are insane. There's one in Salt Lake that has a Ferris wheel inside it. That one blew my mind, but I think this one is even bigger. There is a lot of wildlife in here. Taxidermied, some of it still living. It's hard to capture the size of this freaking place. There's so many layers to it. They have this really good shooting gallery. I spent quite a few dollars at this. Down here is where you can buy your ticket to ride the elevator. And it looks like they want $8. Man, this place has everything. Just in case, like me, you sort of wish you could live here, they do actually have a hotel. Just down the way from the giant Bass Pro Shops. It is actually right on the river here. This is the mighty Mississippi. Naturally, some paddle boat looking things. A couple nice bridges. Famous B.B. King's Blues Club. Back down on Beale Street. Told you I'd be back. A lot of bars, a lot of nightlife going on this street. A lot of rules too. God damn, no bicycles even. Got a few cool vintage shops. Mostly bars, restaurants kind of things. Probably pretty cool on the right evening. Now I will say it is a Monday. It's only about 1 o'clock in the afternoon, so not a whole lot going on here. Right next to all that nightlife, stadium where the Grizzlies play. So, boy, you catch Memphis on game night. Get yourself a few drinks, have a good time on Beale Street, and then head over here to catch an NBA game. Damn, doesn't sound like a bad evening. This historic plaque here explains a bit how Memphis had always been a place that appealed to traveling blues musicians. That's right, Memphis is home to the Grizzlies. Proper NBA team. In fact, they did just have a playoff appearance. They made it as the 8 seed, which means they had to play the 1 seed, which is the Utah Jazz. And fortunately, they couldn't keep up. Utah Jazz took them out in 5 games, won 4 out of 5. But nonetheless, pretty good team. This park you see here actually marks the site of one of Martin Luther King's famous speeches. This is where he spoke to a crowd of striking sanitation workers and their supporters. They were trying to enact a labor union and fight for some better working conditions after 2 of them had been killed in a horrific fashion while on the job. Not a whole lot of Civil War history in Memphis, but apparently there was one event, and it happened here. About to head out of town. I say, Memphis is kinda ghetto. Guess I shouldn't be too surprised. I will say I do have a long list of some of my favorite rappers who are from Memphis. So that's usually indicative of a slightly more impoverished area. That's gonna do it for Tennessee. Had a pretty fun visit. Crossing the Mississippi now and heading into Arkansas.